So we're taking a look at the PARCC Practice Unit 3 question number 7. We're looking at a computer sale, and we have an original price of $598.00. And we're taking 25% off the original price and then applying an 8% tax to our actual sales price. It's important to realize that we cannot take the 8% tax until we find the actual cost of the computer, because you only pay tax on the amount that you spend for an item. And the question says, the owner offers a payment plan where the total cost of the computer is paid in 6 equal monthly payments. Determine the amount of each monthly payment, show your work, or explain your answer. Now, when it says show your work, well, we can explain this using mathematical notation, right? So leave nothing out. We want to show everything we possibly can. And I just realized that I don't have my tools, which of course makes a great video when I have to do this. Okay, so here we go. All right. So here we go. So we now have our tools so we can write. So the first thing I need to do is I need to figure out how much I'm actually going to have to pay for this computer. So the first thing I am going to do is, well, I'm going to pull up a calculator because I'm allowed to use a calculator, and there's no point in doing this by hand if I don't have to. So I have my calculator. All right, I'm going to set this over here. And so everything I type in the calculator, I must put in that text box with no exception. So the original price is $598. So what I'm going to do is, just to make sure I type everything in the box that I need to type in the box, I'm going to write it first in the box, and then I'm going to do the work on the calculator, just to make sure I have everything listed. So we have $598, and we are going to multiply it by, well, there are two ways I could do this. I could multiply it by 0.25 and then subtract that from $598, or I could just multiply it by the percent that I'm actually going to be paying. So what percent will I actually be paying if 75%? Okay, so I'm going to multiply this by 0.75, because if I take 25% away, I will be actually paying 75%. So that makes the calculations a little bit quicker for me, and I like quicker. So we multiply that by 0.75. And so our actual cost of the computer will be $448.05. No? 50 cents, that's right. So the calculator is not going to give us that last zero, but we do need that last zero because it is money, and money is in parts of 100. So we do have to have that 0.50. All right, so is that the actual amount that I'll spend on the computer? No, I have the tax. So at this point, to include the tax, I'm going to have to go 448.50, and I'm going to multiply it by 1.08. Why am I going to multiply this by 1.08 as opposed to 0.08? Abby?
You're going to multiply it by 1.08 because you're trying to figure out what the price plus tax is, and so you have to do 100% of it plus the 8% for tax.
Exactly. So the 1 represents the cost of the computer. The 0.08 RE represents the tax that I'm adding to it. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply this by 1.08, and that gives me $484 and how many cents? 38? Okay. All right, am I done with this problem?
No.
Oh man, what do I have to do now? Find the 6 monthly payments. So that means I'm going to take my, well, it's going to have to be another line because I'm typing it, right? So we have 484.83, and I'm going to divide it. You're going to have to use that little symbol here, or the slash, either one, and I'm going to divide it by 6. So divide it by 6, and I get, so how much am I, that's really convenient. Don't worry about it, the table's broken. So that's really convenient. I don't have to round it all, do I? That's really actually quite nice. So that means my monthly payment is going to be $80.73. And so I would actually do a little bit of explaining here. I would simply say, I would actually state my monthly payment is, and that way whoever's grading this will know exactly how you got this and why. Sounds good so far?
Yep.
Okay, so we are going to scroll down here. And I'm going to take this text and I'm going to shrink it and save it for later, because I have a feeling I'm going to have to use this again. All right, so in my part B, I think I scrolled down a little too far. Okay, there we go. Part B. A different computer is advertised as 40% off the original price. After the discount, the tax is $44.64. So we have 4 bullet points. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means we need to have 4 different, so this is going to be a 4-point problem, right? And we have to show every one of those bullet points to get full credit. So determine the total price of the computer after the discount and tax are applied. All right, so in my previous problem, I did the cost of the computer and I multiplied it by the tax, and that got tax rate, and that got me the total tax. Do I have that right? Is that what I did, Reese? Are you sure about it? Because I make mistakes all the time. Okay. All right, so do I know the cost of the computer? No. No. Do I know the tax rate? Yes, I do. What is the tax rate? 8%. So we still have the 8%, and so that is 0.08. Do I know the total tax? Do I know the total amount that I was taxed? Yeah, that's the one piece of information that was given. So that's $44.64. Oh, well, that's an easy train track or solving a linear equation problem. What will I do to both sides to get the c by itself? Yes, what will I do to get the c by itself? Divide by 0.08. Now, incidentally, if I write do train tracks, does anyone know what that means? No. That any grader outside of Slavens will not know what that means. You'll get 0 credit for saying that. So using my calculator, I go 44.64. I divide it by 0.08, and I should get a number much larger. I get $558. Is that the actual amount that I had to spend? Allie's shaking her head no. Why not?
Because that's still only 40% of the original price.
So that's so that is so that's the amount that I spent. But did I just pay for the cost of the computer? Walt, what else did I have to pay for?
You had to pay for that's the discount associated with it.
So I have the discounted price. All right. But wait a second. Do I need to know does it ever say the up here for this one right here? Does it say that I have to get the original price yet? No. So for the total cost, what is my total cost? $558. Ava?
You have to add the tax to it.
I have to add the tax to it. So what am I going to do with 558, Brooklyn?
Oh, add the tax.
Add the tax. So the tax is $44.64. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so 558 plus 44.64. I got the decimal there. And so I would actually have to say that I added 44.64, that the total price I paid is $602.64. So am I done? Okay. Have I shown my work and explained my answer? Yeah, we did a pretty good job of it. Now, Caden, if I have extra time left over, I can go back and I can add more English language explanation. But should I add that English explanation until I finish the test? Probably not. This will be enough to do pretty well. Add that description after you finish all the problems. Okay? So then we're good on these two. Have we determined the original price of the computer yet? No. Okay, so how will I determine the original price of my computer? Levi. So you said 558 divided by what? Why should I divide it by 6?
Because 60% was, or 558 is 60% of the original cost. So you divide that by 16 and 10% would be.
Okay, so we want to find out what 10% is?
And then you would multiply that by 10.
Okay, so hold on a second. So 558 divided by 6. So that means 10% of the cost is $93. And then what did you do? So multiplied by 10. Is there another way I could have gotten this? Alexa, what's another way I could have gotten this?
I use that way, but can you do it, is it 1 point, it's like multiplied by 1.4, is that it?
Not exactly. Walt? I can multiply by 1 2/3. I hear people switching in the hallway, so here's what I would have done. I kind of like equations. So Caden, I know you're writing all of this down. So what I personally would have done is I know that the original cost times the discount. What's the discount? 40%. So times 0.40 is going to equal 558. So what am I going to do to get the original cost by itself? Divide by 0.4, divide by 0.4. So let's see if we get the same answer Levi got. So 558 divided by, I know you're not packing up because this is the most exciting video you'll ever see on YouTube. We did not get the same answer. Why is that? Okay, what's wrong with the 0.4? So is this 0.4 the amount that did I pay for 40% or did I paid for 60? Oh, so I need to do the original times 6% or 60%. And that's going to equal 558. So what will I actually be dividing 558 by? 0.6. So let's see if we get Levi's answer now. Oh, look at that. We get the same thing. So what I like to do is remember we're multiplying the original cost by not the discount, but what remains. And that's a quicker way to do it. But obviously, Levi's way works, so you can use that too.